So take a minute and think about a competent communicator in your life. Someone that you really respect, someone that you feel is really good at getting their point across, who maybe tends not to be very biased. So think about someone. It can be someone famous. It can be someone who's on the national news in the morning that you think is really good. It could be a parent or a friend. Okay, it doesn't matter. But have in your mind someone that you feel is a really competent communicator. So what is it that makes them good? What is it that makes them better than some of us? One of the goals in this course is to have all of you become better in your communication skills. Now, some scholars will say some people are just born with good communication skills. They're born with the personality traits that will lead to being better communicators. But really, for the most part, these are learned skills. I mean, if they weren't, why would I be teaching this class? Why would Kirkwood require this class for all of their students if we didn't think you could learn and improve on these skills? So we all can. We all can get to that next level. So being a competent communicator involves particular effective and appropriate skills. So they're effective because they can make change happen. And they're appropriate because they know when to be appropriate and when it's not time to be appropriate. So these are some characteristics that I'm going to rattle off that competent communicators have. And I want you to be thinking in the back of your mind about that competent communicator that you're thinking about and these characteristics and how they line up with one another. So first of all, a competent communicator knows how to achieve their intended goals, right? We talked earlier about communication events having a goal and reaching it. Well, a competent communicator gets that goal accomplished. If they're trying to persuade you to buy something, you buy something. If my goal at the end of this video is to make sure you know what a competent communicator is, then hopefully by the end of the video, you're able to answer that question. Okay, that would make me a competent communicator. They are also high self-monitors, so they can really watch and listen to their own actions and words and reflect on them and change. They can reflect and say, you know what, yesterday when I made that comment, that probably wasn't very appropriate. So is there something else I could have said? And they're constantly evaluating and reevaluating themselves and really sort of looking at how they look and they act and the impressions that they're making and sort of monitoring those impressions. They're also adaptable. So different situations, they know that they need to adapt. For example, if I was at Cornell and I was giving a presentation to prospective families, I would dress in a certain way, I would speak in a certain way, I would have a very professional manner about myself. But then after work, when I meet my friends, I might look very different. I might have put on some jeans or some sweatpants. I maybe swear from time to time. You know, it's a different context, it's a different situation, and I know then how to adapt and what's appropriate. Being empathetic, knowing and being aware of people's feelings and thoughts. The old saying of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, same concept. Can you look at someone else through the feelings and thoughts that they're having to try and understand where they're coming from? Cognitive complexity is the ability to really consider situations from different points of view. So instead of just looking at a situation and coming to one conclusion, someone with cognitive complexity can really look at it from different angles and different views. And finally, ethical. A competent communicator is always ethical. They know what's right, they know what's wrong, and they know when not to cross that line. So now that you've got that competent communicator in your mind, and you've listened to the different characteristics of a competent communicator, hopefully you'll see how those two really mesh together. And I want you to reflect a little bit on yourself as a competent communicator. Are there any of these characteristics that you think you could work on? And maybe pick one. Maybe it's becoming more empathetic. Maybe it's trying to do more self-monitoring. Just pick one of those and see if you can kind of keep that in the forefront as we go through this class, and see if you can work on that and improve that particular area. And eventually, we can all become better, competent communicators. Thanks, guys.